Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Rasfari Nyahbinghi, and today I will be talking to you all about the importance of fasting and the benefits of fasting and why do I fast. And the subtitles that I'll be using will be the Libra scale for my astrologers, and for the Kemetic people, I will be using the laws of Ma'at, or Ma'at, being the scale. And then the third one, because I didn't really know which one I wanted to use as my subtitle, it'll be appreciating the cocoon stages and and appreciating the metamorphosis of your life. And of course, with the scales being the polarity of life. So as I always start off with the word, the etymology of fasting is to reset of the mind, body, and spirit. It could be looked at as renegotiating yourself with your higher self. Fasting is a process of abstaining from anything that can pull you away from God. Fasting is usually going without food or liquids for a period of time to achieve a greater spiritual goal. Fasting is initially denying the flesh in order to gain a response from the spirit, which means renouncing the nature in order to invoke the supernatural. Those of you who follow me and who've been friends with me for some time now, you all know that I fast 2 times out the year. The first one is at the 9th month of the lunar calendar, which many of you know it as Ramadan, and that's to abstain from food, water, or liquids, any liquid, sexual urgencies, bad talking, backbiting, anything that'll pull you away from your higher self, and remove any lower frequency. So whether it's TV or anything that's pulling you away from the oneness and the connection of connecting with your higher self, or the Most High, or whatever you identify as God, it's to remove all distractions. And then the second one, of course, is the 12th month of the Gregorian calendar, which is the December fast, and it's the same as the Ramadan fast for the 9th month of the lunar calendar. However, you're able to still use liquids. So it's removing everything except for liquids, because in that fast, it's more so about removing the distractions, but still staying hydrated, through the process. And both fasts, in my opinion, are powerful, and they hold different meanings to me personally. And also with the December fast, or for the second fast, for the 12th month of the Gregorian calendar fast, the time period is set for 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. as opposed to the 9th month lunar calendar. The fast is from sunup to sundown. So it's a little bit different, but it's still just that fight with oneself to reach the higher self. And so fasting gives you patience, gives you discipline. It allows you to create an inner peace and an inner strength. And I remember my first fast that I could really remember, just that first week, just feeling like I'm about to die, and just feeling like, I'm about to give up, and, not knowing where this is going to take me or anything like that. But of course I stuck through it. And it gave me inner strength. It gave me more patience. Like if I could wait until a certain time, I could wait until a longer time if I'm not able to break my fast at that time. So it gave me a better understanding and really self-reflect on the things that we neglect and the things that we look over. There's some people out here who aren't able to eat, and who aren't able to get water whenever they choose to, so it just gave me a different perspective of life, And fasting also helps with just, like I said, self-reflecting, and just the manner that you've been behaving. Some of us, we don't understand. Some of us, we are not even conscious to know that the way we've been behaving is not really conducive to the whole universe. It's not conducive to the laws of nature. And fasting will allow you to understand and kind of look within and self-reflect on the behaviors that you use. Maybe you curse too much. Maybe you move too quick. Maybe you take yourself a little too serious. So just fasting from those things will help you to find that polarity, that balance in that Libra and in my eye. And so just a quick fun facts. Every main religion prescribe their followers to fast, just like a doctor prescribed their patients, medicine. And it was real important that I learned, or for us to acknowledge the etymology of words, because to prescribe something is a form of a medicine, is a sense of someone need that, so they use that in certain texts and religious texts, that the prescription or to prescribe you fasting as a medicine, as a form of medicine, because it is a form of a medicine. It has great properties. It have great benefits. One being the anti-aging, where when you remove yourself from certain toxic foods or certain toxic behaviors and vices and things like that, you will realize that you will really have a glow. You will really see your body going through a metamorphosis, and just appreciating that metamorphosis, and then a few other fun facts is fast is not just a religious ritual, but mostly a spiritual metamorphosis of the body, mind, and soul. Fast is not just abstaining from food, drinks, sexual urgencies, but it's anything that distracts you from your higher self. And and you can even fast from, like I said, people. If it's someone who, many of us have a lot of people who keep us at a lower frequency, and, we're not mindful of that until we actually self-reflect and just take a moment to say, dang, that person is really not conducive to where I'm trying to go with life, so or TV shows, sometimes we'll be too busy watching TV shows or doing God knows what, and we neglect the actual, tools that we really should be doing, and the actual tasks that we should be doing in our life to progress in life, so, just fasting just helps with those type of things of just self-reflecting. Fasting is a balance of the spirit, man, and flesh coming to harmony with one another. And that's why I wanted to use the scales to visualize the continuous battle that we have daily with ourselves. Life is all about polarities, yin and yang, black and white, all of that type of stuff. As long as we balance those things, I think we'll be all right. Humans aren't the only people, or the only beings. Humans aren't the only beings that fast. Animals also fast. If you were to just go outside and study nature, or just study certain animals, for those of you who are big on animal study, you'll realize that a lot of animals, pretty much all animals, pretty much all animals have a form of fasting. If you have a dog or a cat in your house, or any type of animals, and you try to feed them, mainly I seen with an animal just recently, because I was dog sitting an animal, and he just kept barking. I was like, dang, man, maybe he want some food or something like that, or some water. And I would give it to him, and he wouldn't take it. So I'm like, all right, maybe he's tired or something. But of course he wasn't tired. So I took him for a walk, and he started eating the grass, So it just showed me like the balance that animals have in themselves, and also how a lot of animals are more closer to God than we are as humans. So we're not the only ones who fast, and we're not the only ones that should be fasting and having that balance in our lives. Some of us act as if we are immortal when it comes down to life, where we just always kind of push things to the next day, or, think that, okay, well, I'm going to figure it out, or I'm going to just, not have no urgencies to knowing the importance of keeping your life in order and keeping yourself balanced so that you can live forever, or you can live until you're ready to, ascend, not forever, because everything has an expiration date, but realizing that, understanding that you're not immortal, you're immortal, so by understanding that, and just subconsciously, just how we operate and how we move, we abuse ourselves, we neglect ourselves, because we think that, all right, one day I'll get it right and stuff. But no, start right now, and fasting will help with realizing that everything has an expiration date, or how grateful you are really that you wake up every day and you have, you're in full ability to do whatever you want to do, and you have another chance to get your life in order. We do things sometimes with not the total understanding of it is an expiration, and we do things sometimes not knowing that everything has a consequence. You know, if you're consistently doing something wrong, then of course something wrong is going to happen. If you consistently do something right, then of course something right will happen. And if 2020 hasn't taught us anything, it should have taught us that we shouldn't take anything for granted, you know, and everything has an expiration date. From our celebrities that we probably never even would have expected for that to happen, it happened, you know, or from just close people to us and people that's true to our heart, we realize that, you know, them just leaving all of a sudden, you know, it should have been a wake-up call. So 2020, at least for me, it showed me that I can't take things for granted, you know, and for me to really stay on this journey and stay on this path of life and really bring balance into my life, you know, and hold the balance and stay consistent with the balance. So also, when you look at your parents and your grandparents, times of death and how they live, that's a direct indicator of how your life can go if you don't, you know, stay balanced and you don't appreciate and acknowledge the polarities of life. And with sacrifices always comes success. So yes, it's going to feel, you know, uncomfortable. You know, yes, it's going to feel like your life is going to be at an end, you know, all of that stuff. Yes, it's going to feel like that. However, as long as you take those necessary sacrifices to get to where the goal is, you'll be all right, you know? So fasting also cleanses the cells and restricts, well, fasting also cleanses the cells and the restriction of the food and the water. So it'll allow you to, like I said earlier, have those aging, you know, properties, and for you to reverse your aging, you know, and it'll reduce the stress in your body. You know, if you were to just fast for a long periods of time, you'll realize that, you know, it'll reverse any type of aging that your body, you know, is up against. And the times that you eat is very, very important when you fast, you know. So I like to look at my body, or a body, to put things into visualization, as like a restaurant, you know, or like a business, you know. Certain businesses is open at certain times, you know, just for that business to operate and produce certain product as efficient as possible, you know. So look at your body as like that, you know, like if you eat at a specific time, your body will start over time getting used to just you eating at that time, and then it'll break down the foods, you know, probably even better, you know, and then it'll get used to just the operation and the flow of you consuming certain things at a certain time, and the breakdown, it'll just be more efficient. And the best thing to eat, or the best times to eat, is always, in my opinion, is before the sunset, you know. So just like an animal, you know, when you study an animal, animals usually don't eat too late. Animals don't eat too late for the simple fact, or some animals don't eat too late for the simple fact of it's a certain hunting period, you know, of the day that they know that they got to eat their food or catch their food. And we as humans, you know, should study the animal, you know, kingdom, and take certain lessons from them, you know, because we're all here on this one planet to learn from each other. So just like the animals study us, we should be able to study them and take heed to certain lessons that they do, you know. So in conclusion, I challenge you all for the next 7 days to fast from anything that is distracting you from your higher self. Wake up throughout these 7 days and meditate. You know, that's the first thing that you want to do when you wake up, is to meditate. And as you reset your body for these 7 days, reset your mind and body and spirit, as well. And meditation is the stillness of one's body and heart and soul, So when you wake up and visualize how your day is going to go in that meditation, whether you got to play music or just silent meditation, and visualize that for your first meditation on how